Collectors value the 2005 10 Piso coin not only for its design but also for its historical placement. It is part of the new design series, a significant set of Philippine coins that marked a new era in the country's numismatic history. Its heroes and features make it stand out among other denominations. Interestingly, the pairing of Mabini and Bonifacio on a single coin was deliberate. It symbolized the balance of intellect and action, wisdom and bravery, two essential forces that fueled the Philippine Revolution against Spanish rule. This combination gives the coin deeper symbolic meaning beyond its face value. The 2005 10 Piso coin also represents an era when the Philippines was modernizing rapidly, both economically and socially. It became a token of transition, moving from the older generations of money toward more contemporary, practical and secure designs. In the eyes of collectors, certain 10 Piso 2005 coins that remain in uncirculated or mint condition hold special value. They are seen as relics of a turning point in Philippine currency history, especially since later years introduced further design changes under the new generation currency program. The presence of this coin in circulation has sparked nostalgia among many Filipinos, as newer coins have replaced it in more recent years. For older generations, holding a 2005 10 Piso coin is like holding a piece of memory, a coin that reminds them of simpler times and national pride. Beyond its use as money, the coin reflects the Philippines' deep respect for its heroes. By immortalizing Mabini and Bonifacio on the coin, the BSP ensured that every Filipino carried a reminder of sacrifice and patriotism in their pocket. The 2005 10 Piso coin is also an interesting study in numismatics for how it blends artistry and functionality. The bimetallic design, the engravings, and the careful choice of heroes reflect the craftsmanship and thought behind its creation. This coin also carried educational value for students and young Filipinos. Learning about the faces on the 10 Piso coin provided a small but powerful lesson in history. Every coin told a story of revolution, leadership, and the Filipino struggle for independence. In rural and urban communities alike, the 2005 10 Piso coin was a vital unit of exchange. It played an essential role in the daily economy, proving the importance of coins in the monetary system. Another fascinating aspect is its durability over time. Even after years of use, many 2005 10 Piso coins still maintain their designs clearly, making them valuable for collectors and ordinary citizens alike. In auctions and collector markets, the 2005 10 Piso coin can fetch higher prices when preserved in pristine condition. Its value lies not only in its scarcity in mint state but also in its symbolic design. It is also worth noting that some 2005 issues carry minor minting errors, such as misaligned centers or variations in metal shades. The 1974 Philippine 10 Sentimo coin holds significant value in the country's numismatic history. It was minted during a transformative era for the Philippines politically, economically, and culturally. Let's dive into its origin, design, metal composition, and the historical context in which it was produced. The early 1970s, the Philippines was under the rule of President Ferdinand Marcos, who had declared martial law in 1972. This period marked a shift towards centralized power, infrastructural expansion, and authoritarian control. The coinage from this era reflects the government's push for national identity, unity, and economic development. The 197 for 10 Sentimo belongs to the Ang Bagong Lipunan ABL coin series, launched as part of Marcos' New Society movement. This series was intended to represent a rebirth of the Filipino nation, focused on discipline, reform, and nationalism. The coins featured Filipino heroes and inscriptions in Filipino, moving away from English-dominated earlier series. The obverse of the 1974 10 Sentimo coin proudly features Melchora Aquino, also known as Tandang Sora. She was a revolutionary heroine in the Philippine struggle for independence against Spain. Her legacy represents courage, maternal care for revolutionaries, and national pride. Side includes the coat of arms of the Philippines, as used during the Marcos era, along with the coin's denomination. The coin was minted by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP and was released for general circulation. It was widely used for small everyday purchases, such as local snacks, bus fares, and street food. 1974 was a critical year in the Philippines. Infrastructure projects were booming under the new society vision. The Philippines was redefining its cultural and national identity. The coin thus became a symbol not just of currency, but of the ideological shift under Marcos. The transition to using Filipino language on coins, for example, Republica NG, Pilipinas, emphasized nationalism. Earlier coins used English extensively, but from 1972 onwards, Filipino words became the norm, aligning with Maros' push for cultural identity. The coin was primarily used in public markets, sari-sari stores, and jeepney fares. It was a common coin in every Filipino's pocket, reinforcing its presence in everyday life during the 70s. While not extremely rare, the 1974 10 Sentimo holds sentimental and historical value. Uncirculated or proof-like versions may attract collectors, especially those focusing on the martial law era or Ang Bagong Lipunan series. Choosing Melchora Aquino for the 10 Sentimo was a deliberate move to honor a revolutionary woman figure. At a time when female heroes were less frequently represented, her image on a coin was both educational and inspirational. The aluminum 10 Sentimo coins began phasing out in the 1990s as inflation and modernization of coinage made low denominations impractical. By 1995, newer series replaced the old ABL coins. During martial law 1972 to 1981, coins were not just used as money, they were also tools of propaganda. The government sought to promote national heroes, discipline, and the new society. By placing Melchora Aquino on the coin, it subtly aligned her revolutionary legacy with the Marcos regime's vision of reform and control. Ferdinand Marcos had a strong influence over cultural outputs, including coin design. The ABL series was a top-down government initiative, and even small denominations like the 10 Sentimo followed a strict design code that included national symbols, government slogans, and respected historical figures. Coins like the 10 Sentimo served as daily educational tools. Many school children in the 1970s and 1980s learned about Melchora Aquino by seeing her face on money. The coin, being in regular circulation, helped preserve historical memory and promoted patriotism subtly through everyday interaction. Melchora Aquino wasn't just a supporting figure. Known as the mother of the Katipunan, she provided food, shelter, and medical aid to revolutionaries during the Spanish era. She was arrested and exiled to Guam by Spanish authorities, including her image on currency highlighted her maternal sacrifice for the nation. The switch to aluminum for smaller denominations like the 10 Sentimo was a cost-saving measure. During the 1970s oil crisis and global inflation, even the Philippines faced rising costs in coin production. Aluminum was light, cheap, and easy to mint, though it lacked durability. Millions of these coins were minted and circulated widely, especially in urban areas like Manila, Cebu, and Davao. They were commonly used in vending machines, small retail stores, and for local produce, making them an essential part of economic life. Compared to earlier 10 Sentimo coins from the 1960s, which featured a different design, the 1974 version stood out because of the symbolic association with the martial law ideology. Each year's design subtly reflected the evolving government narratives. Most 1974 10 Sentimo coins were minted without a visible mint mark, as the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas did not routinely use mint marks. However, minor varieties and misalignments have been observed by collectors, which may increase a coin's value if found in excellent condition. Interestingly, many Filipinos stored these coins in coin banks, plastic jars, and old drawers. As inflation rose and the coin lost value, it slowly disappeared from transactions but remained in homes, becoming a nostalgic item. Decades later, the 1970s saw many countries shifting to base metals and more nationalist coin designs. The Philippines mirrored this trend, influenced by the practices of developing nations that were emphasizing independence and internal identity. During the Cold War era, the 1990s, the 10 Sentimo coin became obsolete due to inflation. Prices had risen so high that nothing could be bought for 10 centavos. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. By the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, BSP, and it reflected the country's cultural pride and natural heritage. Unlike earlier coins that focused solely on national heroes, this series integrated native wildlife into the designs, symbolizing both patriotism and environmental identity. Identitype 19901. Piso was issued during the presidency of Corazon C. Aquino, a period of democratic restoration after the People Power Revolution of 1986. This was a time when the Philippines was rebuilding its economy, reviving its institutions, and fostering national unity. The coin became part of the country's circulating currency that witnessed political reforms and social change. The series was introduced in 1983 and lasted until 1994, replacing the previous Ang Bagong Lipunan coinage. This change aimed to modernize the currency's appearance, improve anti-counterfeiting measures, and highlight the Philippines' biodiversity. The 1 Piso coin of 1990 was one of the higher denomination coins in the set and played a key role in daily commerce. The obverse front of the coin features Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines, known for his writings, activism, and sacrifice during the Spanish colonial period. His portrait is detailed and dignified, symbolizing intellectual freedom and patriotism. The text Republica ng Pilipina, Republic of the Philippines, and the year 1990 are also present. Reverse displays the Philippine monkey-eating eagle Pithecophagua jeffrey, a critically endangered bird and one of the largest eagles in the world. The inclusion of this majestic bird emphasized environmental awareness and pride in the nation's unique wildlife. The denomination 1 Piso is boldly inscribed. Minting authority, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, then Central Bank of the Philippines. 1990, the 1 Piso coin had significant purchasing power, often used for public transportation fares, street food, and everyday necessities. It circulated widely across the country and was a common sight in wallets and cash registers. Today, a 1991 Piso coin holds more value for collectors than for daily transactions, especially in uncirculated UNC or proof-like condition. Errors such as misstrikes, off-centers, or double dies can make the coin worth more to numismatists. This coin symbolized a blend of national pride through Jose Rizal and environmental advocacy. Through the Philippine eagle, it also reflected the late 20th century shift in Philippine coinage design from purely historical figures to cultural and ecological themes. Although it was eventually replaced by the BSP series in 1995, the 1990 1 Piso remains a nostalgic piece of Philippine history. For many, it recalls the transitional years of the 1980s and early 1990s, when the country was redefining itself politically and culturally. If you want, I can also give you a collector. 2014, the Philippines had not updated its coin designs for several years. Older coins, including those from the BSP coin series, 1983 to 2017, were beginning to show signs of wear and were prone to counterfeiting. The BSP aimed to introduce a new series that would feature enhanced security features, national symbols, indigenous flora, durable materials. The 2014-25 Sentimo coin was released as part of the first wave of the NGC coin series. The new coins had simpler and more modern design. The year marked 2014, a clean and minimalistic layout. Juan Luna (1857–1899) was a Filipino painter and revolutionary. His masterpiece Spoliarium became a symbol of resistance and pride, and he was deeply involved in the Philippine struggle for independence. The reverse side of the coin shows an image of the Catman delineal logo of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. The Catman tree produces large, attractive flowers and is a symbol of biodiversity and native pride in the archipelago. The change from brass to nickel-plated steel reflects BSP's goal to reduce production costs while maintaining coin integrity. While worth only 0.25 php, the 25 Sentimo coin is essential for exact transactions, especially in public transport, market exchanges, vending machines. Despite its low value, it remains in daily use, particularly among coin-operated services. Each coin in the NGC series is symbolic. For the 25 Sentimo, Juan Luna represents nationalism and criticized the similar appearance of lower denomination coins 1, 5, 10 due to uniform color and size. However, collectors and nationalists appreciated the modern feel and patriotic elements traded among numismatists interested in the full NGC series. The NGC series continued with future updates and remains the current circulating coinage in the Philippines. The 2014-25 Sentimo coin stands as a milestone of modernization and cultural celebration in Philippine currency history. The 2014 Philippine 25 Sentimo coin is far more than just loose change. It represents a conscious shift by the Philippines to honor its heroes, preserve its environment, and protect its economy with modern design and security. Through Juan Luna and the Catman flower, the coin embodies both the nation's storied past and its hope for a resilient future. The 25 Sentimo denomination has existed in various forms since the early 1900s during American colonial rule, however, its modern journey began in the 1970s, as during the Filipino and Ang Bagong Lipunan, in brass or bronze alloys, Able series, 1975 to 1983, reinforcing Marcos' regime with updated inscriptions, BSP series 1995-017, showcasing the BSP seal. These were mass-produced and widely circulated. The 2014 version reintroduces Juan Luna, who also appeared on older coinage, bridging historical continuity with modern aesthetics. Juan Luna is not only famous for his paintings but also for his active role in the propaganda movement. Alongside Jose Rizal and Marcelo H. del Pilar, he was a passionate advocate for reform under Spanish colonial rule and used his art to express nationalist sentiments. By placing him on the 25 Sentimo coin, the BSP highlighted the role of intellectuals and artists in shaping Philippine identity, an uncommon but powerful choice for such a low denomination and rarely highlighted in public symbols. Its inclusion on the coin promotes ecological awareness, supports efforts to highlight indigenous plant species, emphasizes the beauty of local biodiversity. Catman is also a medicinal plant, traditionally used to treat coughs and stomach problems, tying the coin to the country's indigenous knowledge and healing practices. The 25 Sentimo coin, while small in monetary value, plays a critical role in low-value transactions, especially in public jeepney fares, traditional wet markets, palanquis, rural areas, where change is often scarce. Its consistent circulation keeps the microeconomy functioning, especially among low-income Filipinos. The 2014 coins were minted by the Banco Central ng Pilipinas Security Plant Complex, located in Quezon City. BSP emphasized high-quality minting processes, uniform weights and sizes to meet modern vending and sorting machine standards. The use of minimalist aesthetic of the 25 Sentimo coin follows a global design trend, cleaner lines and fewer elements, easy-to-read text for all ages, avoiding clutter that could lead to counterfeiting. This approach mirrors international coin designs in countries like Canada, Australia, and European nations. 2014, inflation had significantly reduced the real purchasing power of coins, like the 25 Sentimo. Still, BSP kept them in circulation to maintain correct change availability, preserve economic accuracy in pricing, avoid rounding errors in small transactions. However, some businesses started refusing 25 Sentimo coins, creating debates around legal tender laws and coin acceptance. The BSP and DEEP used the 2014 coin series in financial literacy, the 50s of the Flora and Fauna series, a coinage set that the Banco Central ng Pilipinas BSP introduced in 1983 to replace the older Ang Bagong Lipunan ABL series. This series was notable because, for the first time in Philippine coinage, native plants and animals were prominently featured on circulating coins, symbolizing the country's biodiversity and natural heritage. The coin's obverse side features the portrait of Juan Luna, one of the Philippines' greatest 19th-century Filipino painters and national heroes. Luna is best remembered for his masterpiece Spoliarium, which won the gold medal at the 1884 Madrid Exposition. His inclusion on the coin represented Filipino artistic achievement and patriotism. The reverse side showcases the Pithecophagou Jeffrey, more famously known as the Philippine eagle or haribon, king of birds. This bird, found only in the Philippines, is one of the largest and rarest eagles in the world, symbolizing strength and the importance of environmental preservation. Metal composition and specifications. The 1995 25 Sentimo was minted from copper nickel, giving it a silver-like color with durability suited for daily transactions. The mid-1990s, the Philippines was experiencing economic growth under President Fidel V. Ramos, with improved infrastructure and trade liberalization. However, the 25 Sentimo coin's value in real purchasing power had already diminished compared to earlier decades, mainly due to inflation. While in the 1980s a 25 Sentimo coin could buy small candies or local jeepney fare increments, by 1995 it was mostly used for change in markets, small toll adjustments, or school canteen purchases. Transition and end of the series. The Flora and Fauna series remained in circulation until it was replaced by the BSP coin series in 1995 to 1998. Interestingly, the 1995 25 Sentimo was among the last years this design was produced before the introduction of the new smaller brass-colored 25 Sentimo coin in 1995-1996. Collectability and value today. The 1995 25 Sentimo coin is common in mintage numbers, but it has sentimental and historical value for collectors who specialize in complete Philippine coin series. Uncirculated or mint-condition pieces can fetch higher prices among numismatists, especially if they are part of a complete Flora and Fauna set. Coins with minting errors such as misaligned strikes, off-center designs, or double dies can be significantly more valuable. The coin is more than just a monetary piece, it's a reminder. The Philippines' rich artistic history, Juan Luna, the need for wildlife conservation, Philippine eagle, the evolving story of the country's economy and coinage, the presidency of Ferdinand E. Marcos. This series reflected the government's campaign for a new society following the declaration of martial law in 1972. Coins and banknotes during this period bore the inscription, Ang Bagong Lipunan, the new society, symbolizing a political and cultural shift in the Philippines. Features the portrait of Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. Rizal was chosen because of his role in inspiring nationalism through his writings and his martyrdom in 1896. The words Republica ng Pilipinas encircled the coin along with the denomination 1. Piso. The year of minting 1976 is displayed at the bottom. Bears the official seal of the Republic of the Philippines. Around the rim is the inscription, Ang Bagong Lipunan, as part of Marcos' reformist propaganda. The coin's metallic finish gave it a strong modern appearance compared to earlier peso coins. Copper-nickel cupronickel alloy, giving the coin a silvery appearance. Weight, approximately 14 grams. Diameter 33 millimeters, making it a large-sized coin compared to modern Piso coins. This large, heavy coin was considered quite durable, but its size made it inconvenient for daily use, leading to eventual changes in later series. 1976 1 Piso coin was produced in large quantities for circulation. It was minted both in the Philippines and sometimes in foreign mints through contracts. These coins circulated widely during the late 1970s and early 1980s, alongside paper bills of the same denomination. 1976 coinage came at a time when the Philippines was under martial law. The inscription, Ang Bagong Lipunan, was not just a decorative feature, it was a political statement. Coins and banknotes served as tools of propaganda, reinforcing the idea of unity and reform under Marcos' vision of a new society. 19761. Piso coin is considered collectible, especially in uncirculated, mint state condition. Circulated examples usually have low monetary value, often just a little above face value for collectors. Uncirculated or proof-like specimens can fetch higher prices, especially if preserved without scratches or tarnish. Condition-grade mint state coins are far more valuable. Historical interest collectors of martial law coins or Rizal memorabilia value these highly. 1976 1 Piso coin stands as a reminder of a transformative period in Philippine history. It connects the legacy of Jose Rizal, who symbolized freedom and reform, with the controversial political era of the 1970s under Marcos. Its large size and bold inscription made it distinctive, and though it was eventually replaced by smaller, lighter coins in later decades, it remains a significant piece for historians and numismatists. In summary, the Philippine 1 Piso coin of 1976 is not just a piece of money, it is a historical artifact that reflects the culture, politics, and economic. Before the 1976 release, the Philippine peso or Piso had already undergone major transformations. The peso traces its roots back to the Spanish colonial era when the Spanish silver peso piece of 8 was used in Manila trade. After the Americans took control of the Philippines in 1898, the Philippine peso was pegged to the US dollar. Coins issued under U.S. administration bore designs that reflected both Philippine culture and American sovereignty. The time of independence. In 1946, the new Republic of the Philippines began issuing its own coins and banknotes, first under the English series 19511970, and then under the Filipino series 19671974, which emphasized Filipino national heroes and inscriptions in the Filipino language. The 1976 1 Piso coin falls under the Ang Bagong Lipunan ABL series 1975-1983, which represented not just currency reform but also political messaging. During martial law, the term Ang Bagong Lipunan, the new society, was introduced by President Ferdinand Marcos after declaring martial law in 1972. It was a slogan meant to project the idea of a reformed and disciplined Philippines free from corruption and instability. The inscription appeared on both coins and banknotes, starting in 1975. Thus, the 1976 1 piso was not just an economic tool, it was political propaganda in metallic form. Every Filipino who used it carried a reminder of Marcos' governance and his vision for society. The face of the 1 piso coin bears Dr. Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. Rizal's writings, particularly Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, awakened Filipino nationalism during Spanish rule. His execution in 1896 made him a martyr. By featuring Rizal on the 1 piso coin, the government tapped into his universal respect across all political groups. It gave the coin legitimacy and connected the message of new society with the enduring spirit of nationalism. 1976 1 piso coin was among the largest modern Philippine coins in circulation at the time. Its 33 millimeters diameter and 14 grams weight made it heavy in pockets, but also prestigious compared to smaller denominations. It was struck in copper-nickel alloy, chosen for durability and cost efficiency. The reeded edge was both decorative and functional, discouraging coin shaving, a common fraud in earlier centuries, where people filed off bits of precious metal. 1976 The Philippine economy was grappling with the effects of rising global oil prices and foreign debt. Inflation was creeping up, and the peso was gradually losing value. Large coins like the 1 piso reflected an effort to maintain the peso's visibility as a strong unit of currency. However, because the coin was bulky, many Filipinos still preferred the 1 peso paper banknote. Over time, this coin series was introduced in 1995 to replace the old Flora and Fauna coin series and to modernize the designs, highlighting notable national heroes instead of plants and animals. The BSP series was launched after the Banco Central ng Pilipinas replaced the old Central Bank of the Philippines CBP in 1993. This change came after the passing of Republic Act No. 7653, also known as the New Central Bank Act, which restructured the central bank's role and identity. With the new institution came a new national coinage system, and the 5 piso coin was one of the most significant denominations. The 2055 piso coin continued the BSP series design introduced in 1995, featuring Emilio Aguinaldo on the obverse. Aguinaldo, the first president of the First Philippine Republic, was chosen because of his pivotal role in the Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonial rule and his declaration of independence. On June 12, 1898, a 5 piso coin of this era was intended for everyday transactions, covering mid-value purchases such as snacks, jeepney fares, and small household goods. In 2005, the 5 piso had a purchasing power worth much more than today, making it a crucial coin for daily commerce. The year 2005 was a politically and economically eventful time for the Philippines. The economy was experiencing steady remittance growth from overseas Filipino workers, while inflation caused gradual changes in the real value of the currency. Despite this, coins like the 5 piso remained widely used and essential in markets, public transport, and small business trade. General Emilio Aguinaldo, 1869 to 1964, was a symbol of Philippine independence. Led Filipino revolutionary forces against Spain in 1896-1898, declared Philippine independence in Cavite, served as president from 1899 to 1901, lived to witness the country's full independence in 1946. His portrait on the 5 piso coin serves as a constant reminder of national pride and historical struggle. The 2005 issue was mass-produced for circulation, meaning it's still common today in the Philippines. However, coins in uncirculated condition, or those with minting errors such as misaligned strikes, double dies, or blank plankets, are sought after by collectors. For example, a 2055 piso with a double-struck BSP logo can fetch several times its face value among numismatists. The BSP Series 5 piso coins were minted from 1995 to 2017, after which they were replaced by the new generation currency NGC series in 2018. The new coins removed human portraits and instead featured Philippine flora and fauna, with the 5 piso now bearing an image of the tayabac plant strong Elodan macrobatteries. The 2005 5 piso is remembered fondly by Filipinos because it was one of the last years before the denomination started to lose significant purchasing power. Many associate it with jeepney fare boxes, sari-sari store purchases. 5 Piso coin existed in the modern sense. The denomination was historically issued as a banknote. The first 5 peso bill was introduced in the 1970s under the Filipino and Ang Bagong Lipunan banknote series, carrying the image of President Emilio Aguinaldo. It wasn't until the Flora and Fauna coin series 1980 to 1994 that the 5 Piso coin appeared, featuring Melchora Aquino on its obverse. When the BSP series replaced it in 1995, Emilio Aguinaldo returned, but this time on a coin. Year 1993 was a turning point in Philippine monetary history. The Central Bank of the Philippines, CBP, was dissolved and replaced by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP through the new Central Bank Act. The BSP logo, introduced in 1993, became the centerpiece of the new coin. Reverse designs including the 5 Piso of 2005. During the 1990s and early 2000s, INFLATIN slowly reduced the purchasing power of lower denominations. A 2 Piso coin was no longer enough for many small transactions, while the 5 Piso coin became the standard for mid-value payments such as jeepney fares, Philippine Peso 5.0 at the time, school snacks, and small market purchases. The 2005 issue continued the supply of coins needed for the country's growing economy. 2005, the Philippines was experiencing rising remittances from overseas. Filipino workers' peso exchange rate averaging Philippine Peso 55 per $1 United States dollar. Widespread use of coins in public transportation and microtransactions. The 5 Piso coin played a role in everyday commerce, particularly in public jeepney and bus fares, placing General Emilio Aguinaldo on the coin was not just a design choice, it was a symbolic decision to link currency with national identity. Key moments in Aguinaldo's life tied to the 5 Piso's meaning. 1896. Joined the Katipunan and became a revolutionary leader. 1898 declared Philippine independence from Spain in Cavite. 1899 to 1901. Served as president during the Philippine-American War. 1964 passed away at age 94. Witnessing the full independence of the Philippines, Aguinaldo's portrait was designed to remind Filipinos of the cost of sovereignty and freedom. The 1993 BSP seal, a stylized Philippine eagle gear and stars representing strength, industry, and the 3 main island groups Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. The denomination 5 Piso prominently centered a clean background, a shift from the busy designs of earlier coins. The design reflected the modernist approach of the BSP series, focusing on clarity and ease of recognition. Metal nickel-plated steel for durability and resistance to corrosion. Smooth, unlike later NGC 5 Piso coins that used a reeded edge. Minting process struck at the BSP security plant complex in Quezon City. Weight and size standardized for vending machines and cash handling systems. While official mint figures for 2005 are not publicly detailed, it is known that millions were produced. These coins entered circulation quickly and were seen in almost every Filipino's pocket purse or coin bank. 2018, the BSP decided to replace